Hey everybody, this is Kathy and Jennifer. Hi Jennifer,
Hey,
thanks for being with me.
no problemo.
It's been kind of like energetically funky times. I think that's like such an understatement. But we both have been feeling it and we'd like to share some of the tools we use to help create a change without pushing away what is, but bringing awareness to it and allowance, non-judgment to it, and then choosing something different. So, what's been up for you, Jennifer?
Yeah, I guess it's just the way I would kind of describe it is like overwhelm, like this sense of overwhelm and almost like panic and like that there's like too much that I have to like do or and I don't have enough time and it's like I've kind of made myself a little like I went into it for like a good 2 days where I really let myself kind of get overwhelmed by all of it. And then I remembered that I've got tools that can change it. And also, just being after actually watching your video and really being in the question of like, yeah, like what would I rather actually be feeling here? Or what would I actually rather be experiencing here instead of this overwhelm? It's like, I know, I acknowledge that I'm like a very aware bear. and and I kind of forget sometimes that I am that aware and that I am picking up on all of this emotion and overwhelm and chaos. And I was just telling you like 2 seconds ago, I actually totally forgot how close I am to Seattle. And so it's like, I wonder how many people I'm picking up on. And yet, no matter what's kind of happening, whether it's like really, really right in front of you in your home, or like picking up on something going on globally or like somewhat locally, it's like it's so easy to think that there's absolutely no way you can change it, you know,
Yeah.
and that you're at the effect of it. And so when I asked myself, like, okay, what would I actually rather be feeling or experiencing right now? And coming to that awareness, like, of, okay, I'm just aware of all of this, this isn't really mine. And so I'm like, okay, what I'd like to be experiencing is ease. And I don't like saying stuck on one word because it's like for everybody kind of has like a different feel for different words. So like what is it for you, right? Is it ease? Is it peace? Is it expansive? Feeling expansive? Because it's like that overwhelm is like so like contracted and like
Definitely. Yeah.
And so the exercise that I actually woke up using was it's called the expansion exercise. I've actually heard it I've learned it from so many different modalities. They all kind of do it a little bit different. And so basically it just starts off with, like, okay, breathe in, breathe out. It just reminded me, I know, a little side note. Um, there was someone said something once that I really loved is like, um, your breath is a present because you can only take a breath in the present. You can't take a breath in the past. You can't take one in the future. You can only take it in the present. And so, what if you actually acknowledged the gift of your breath and used it as a tool? So, I guess this is kind of a twofold tool breathing.
Yeah, I've been referring back to that a lot recently. And with the idea that every time I take a breath, consciously, unconsciously, while I'm in my head, whatever, we are always receiving the support of the universe. You can't like consider that a lie as you inhale, right? You can't. You are receiving the support of the universe. Like, that is the truth. So that's been a huge tool for me right now. Even just putting a hand here or not, no hand there, and just being like, and as I'm inhaling, thinking, or reminding myself, I am receiving the support of the universe right now. And then as I exhale, I'm softening into that support.
Mm, I love that. I'm gonna add that to my breathing exercise. And it's like sometimes people like, have this belief that like, you kind of have to like take all these classes and learn all these breathing techniques, which those are totally fun and totally great. And yet you don't necessarily need that to use the breath as a tool and a technique to actually be a contribution to you.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as just taking a few present breaths. And like you said, it's like breathing in, and then as you relax, like softening your body and relaxing your body.
So we took this little tangential tour over there, and then back to your exercise.
Back to my exercise. So yeah, so deep breath in and out. And become really present and aware with your body, your head, your shoulders, your back, stomach, your thighs, your legs, your feet. And then become present with the space around your body. And then allow that space to expand, to take up the whole size of the room that you're in. And then expand out to the size of the building. And then your neighborhood. Keep going, keep expanding, keep expanding. And this isn't a trying thing. You just do it. And if you think you can't do it, what if you can? And keep expanding out the size of your city and up and down all around like a big ball, a globe, a circle. Keep expanding out, expanding out, expanding out. Size of your state, province, country. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Expand out to the compass, the whole planet Earth. Expand out, expand out. And then faster now. Keep going, expand out, expand out. Universe. Keep going, keep going. Expand out to the size of the universe and beyond that and beyond that. Expand out more, 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 more. Cool. And then if I guess you can just be with that for a moment. You don't have to rush on it. But all I was really going to kind of add to that is that if I start my day with that and then I feel myself contracting, I don't necessarily go through that whole exercise again. I just like take a breath and remind myself, okay, expand out. And then I like get that sense of like peace, ease, expansion again. So that's mine. I wonder what you've got to share with us today, Kathy.
That I always love expanding out, and one of my reminders in my phone, because we carry these things with us all over the place. So I like to remind myself, like, and and one of the reminders on my phone is, how much space or how spacious can I be right now? And I think that can be a deliberate choice. And sometimes also, if we're in some heaviness, some stuckness, we're aware of some contraction, it's useful to just ask yourself, like, what am I aware of right now? Or even what am I feeling? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling, you know, overwhelmed or whatever, like you were experiencing. And then be like, okay. And not pushing it away, not making it wrong. Like, I think a lot of times we think, I'm evolved, I shouldn't feel angry, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't feel this way. Well, it is what you're experiencing. So if consciousness includes everything and rejects nothing, then you're actually being judgmental by thinking you shouldn't be experiencing it or need to get rid of it or whatever. So just being with like, okay, what am I feeling? Okay, that's sad. I'm just gonna use sad for now. All right. So what thoughts are contributing to that?
Mm.
And then, or let's use your example of overwhelm. Oh, well, I have so much to do. There's stuff all over the place, whatever it is. And then be like, oh, okay. And often just by acknowledging, first, sometimes even just by acknowledging, oh, yeah, this sensation is sadness. It's actually just my interpretation that this sensation is sadness. It doesn't actually mean that, but that's a whole nother thing. Like, that's level 3. All right. But so I'm experiencing sadness. Sometimes that is enough to just free it. But also if that isn't enough, oftentimes acknowledging, oh, the thought that maybe I'll never have this thing again, right? My cat just wandered off. She's 21. I expected her to leave a couple months ago, but so what's the thought? Oh, the thought is maybe I'll never have this thing again. Or if you're in overwhelm, oh, the thought is there's so much stuff all over the place. Oh, okay, cool. Sometimes just acknowledging that thought is enough to create spaciousness. And you're like, whew, fancy, softness, cool. And there's a lot we can do. There's so much we can do with this. We could spend the whole month with this. Because there's the next idea is like the stories in your head that what is, it shouldn't be.
Right.
And that's made up.
Right.
And then beyond that, there is, okay, let me identify the I that is creating that story. And then you start to look for it, the like being, the I that is creating the story, and you realize that's made up too. Now this is way beyond where a lot of personal growth stuff is going to take people, because a lot of personal growth stuff is just about rearranging the stories and changing the stories. But if you start to look at who's the I that's creating the stories, you realize there isn't one, it's made up too. And then you can go some really cool places.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like part of the gift of the expansion exercise. Like I can't remember where I heard it before, but they kind of basically brought up the fact that like if you expand out and that feeling is no longer present, then was it really true for you to begin with?
Yeah.
So is who you truly are actually more of that expansive and lightness, or is who you, the I, you, or whatever, is it actually heavy and dense and contracted and all that? Or is it more true for you to be light and expansive?
It's really interesting. isn't it that this I we think we are is built on fear? It's built on defending. And those are all contractive things.
Right.
It's built on I need to get something in order to be loved. Like I need to prove that I'm lovable. I need to prove I'm smart enough or good enough or successful or beautiful or whatever. It's so built on like striving to prove something so then we can get the feeling, we can get the loving energy we think we need to strive for.
It's like the rat race.
Yeah, or the fear I'm going to lose this thing. Right? I've got it right now, but I might lose it.
Yeah. Especially if you think you like finally got it right. I finally got this right. I can't let that go now. I finally got something right. Oh my god, no.
I proved that it's right. I'm right. Finally. It's so much effort. It's so much, I've been looking at how much effort it is to maintain our ego structure. It's when I'm in that space of being, I'm like, it's way too much effort to maintain an ego structure. It's just so, eh, it's astounding how much energy it takes. Yet we continue to do it.
Right. So what is the value of continuing to do it?
There must be some value, otherwise we wouldn't do it. Or maybe it's just a habit. Oh, there
Right.
I am identifying with that again. Oh, yeah, I'm in the fear that I'm not going to have what it is I really want, which is
Yeah.
ultimately outside this moment.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Cool. It's like it's like you're always seeking for a feeling that's in the past or the future instead of actually just choosing to embody it right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
Huh.
what we're going to play with together more.
Yeah. Even more. I know. I'm like getting so excited for this. Oh my goodness. It's like the coolest thing about it, it's like I don't pretend to know it all. And I know I don't know it all. And like I just actually can't wait to like play with a group of people and play with this and see where we all kind of get to and the things we actually discover even more about this. Because it's like I had the twinkle of the idea and yet because I'm like I know this is possible. I know it's possible because you know, I've been able to choose to be happy, to be peaceful, to be playful, to be creative in any moment. And yet I'd love to actually be able to do it even more and know that, I don't have to wait till I get that money till I can be happy and be peaceful and have ease. And it's like, it's really funny because that's really what we want anyway. It's like we think that we want the money, but what is it that we actually want? Do we want the money or do we actually want the feeling that we've decided the money will give us? And what if we can actually just have that and not wait for the money to have it?
And the thing is, I can't stress this enough. When you get that money, it does not change your habitual way of being. So if your habitual way of being is fearful, you're still going to have that. The money's not going to bring that freedom from that, right? You're going to have more things to be fearful about.
Mm,
If your habitual way of being is, oh, I have to have stuff around me to feel secure, you're just going to be able to buy more stuff to feel secure, but that's not actually going to bring the security because the security is in being.
mm, yeah. And I noticed in myself too, it's like, because I have had a time with addictions, including alcohol and such. And when I finally chose beyond it, I recognized that it was like a temporary fix. It was like putting a band-aid on a bigger issue. It's like, oh, I finally feel that release, that relief that I've been looking for. And yet the next day it would pop right up. And so, what if you can actually have something, do something, have an experience that actually accomplishes that for you, but it's not just short term?
That's so cool. Yeah, and I love that you say that and it's not that just short term, because so many of us, myself included, I I am included in this, have rehearsed the negatives for years, for decades. Okay. So we'll go back into some people's like default is defensiveness or anger. Some people's default is going into sadness. You know, some people's default frustration. Frustration, like, and I actually, this whole quarantine time has been huge for me because I've really been waking up between 2:30 and 4 in the morning and like doing the inner work and looking at
Mm,
that. And I realized that I always had this kind of little edge. It wasn't always big and it wasn't always perceptible to other people, but there was this kind of like looking to see if something was off and then wanting to kind of like be justified in that I had found that thing, right? And I acknowledged this about myself, and I started to examine it and look at that tendency and be like, is that something you really would like to continue to live with? And the answer was no. So I every morning I was doing some, not specifically on this thing, but this was one of the things, and I'm not living with that edge anymore. And it's so freeing to not have
mm,
to have that.
hmm. And I wonder how many people actually were kind of like forced to not have some of those fallbacks, like maybe they like to go out to a bar dancing or something to kind of like be that thing that gives them that release, or like, even like, especially some places where you were literally locked down in your house and you couldn't even go for like a walk except
I mean,
in
you
this
had to be.
specific time. So it's like, even, and not that I'm saying like, yes, go out for walks in nature, yes, do all those things, and yet what if you actually didn't require that, you know and it's like, I wonder how much people became even more aware of how many things they were actually using as those like temporary releases, and once they didn't have that anymore, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? Right? And so I'm like, oh, I can't, like, I want so many people to just know this and be able to choose it. And that's really, I've actually been wanting to do this for a long time. And if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have chickened out of doing it. But it's almost like the things that we're most excited about sharing and having other people like get into, it's like I'm more resistant to sharing those because it's almost like I don't want people to shut down one of like the things I'm most excited about sharing. Like, it's just
Yeah,
so funny.
I get that. And we live a lot that way where we don't want the disappointment that we think could happen. So then we don't go after the thing, whether it's someone not asking someone out on a date because the answer could be no, or
Right.
not sharing your class or event or whatever. And yes, it is the ones that are more important to us, isn't it? Whereas, like, you could ask the person you're just so about on the date, but not the person who's like, oh, this would be amazing, or because then, oh, the answer could be no. So, like, this is the like living from fear-based reality.
Yeah.
And we've rehearsed the negative stuff, and negative for no reason, right? And tap into other people's fields of energy, morphic fields of negativity, when positive, blissful, joyful morphic field is also available right here, right now, in every minute.
Mm.
In every minute. And that is one reason little kids can just be so happy, regardless of like protests in the streets or a lockdown or whatever. They're not hooked into it.
And they can be totally angry and sad with absolutely no point of view about it.
Yeah, and then it
Like,
goes through,
and
right?
then it's like, snap, gone.
It
And
doesn't,
they're like, what?
yeah, it doesn't linger. Yeah. Yeah. And then as we get more identified, as I am so and so, and this is my identity, age 8 plus, then it changes.
And almost like a learning thing. It's like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be. This is how I'm supposed to behave. This is how I'm supposed to act, like all the things that we learn on how to be a person, you know?
How to be a person. And so we did not like say this, but we're going to do a class that Jennifer was talking about, and hook into or embody really those generative, joyful, magical energies, like your preferred energies,
Mm,
day after day, so that you've rehearsed those instead of just being unhappy for no reason. You can be joyful or feel magical or nurtured just because.
mm, I can't wait. So yeah, that'll be it's called Become.
I love the
20,
name.
yeah, it'll be 21 days. And if you guys want to find it, you can actually just go to www.meetkathywilliams.com/upcoming. And we start on the 22nd, and we have it on sale till the 19th. So,
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that today. I was in the woods and I was like, that's an amazing deal. How
21
much
days
is
for
it?
$21.
Oh my God. It's like $1 a day. Like, I could be happy and be happier and happier and remind myself and be with a group and becoming even, more joyful, magical, all the things I'd like to be for $1 a day. Yeah, that's less than Starbucks.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for joining me tonight, Kathy.
Oh,
It's
thank
always so nice being with you.
this has been a really fun conversation. We never know exactly where it's going to take us.
Nope.
And just like the class, right? We don't know exactly where it's going to take us, but there will be also one live call. The rest will be Facebook Lives, during which you can communicate with us via Facebook, um, if you are on live. And then if you have other feedback and stuff, we will see it in the Facebook group. And you can post your own videos if you wish. This is what's happening for me. This is how I am.
Right, right. Yeah, because it'll be a private Facebook group for everybody that joins.
Yeah. This is kind of what I wish I had learned as a child. And actually, it's funny because now that I think of it, my mom had this book called Being Happy. And the book was for adults, but it had kind of cartoon pictures, um it and I remember specifically one phrase, and it's like, this is why you spill spaghetti bolognese on your best shirt and not your t-shirt you don't care about. It was talking about like our choices to be happy, so maybe I did get a little of that thrown into the mix as a child.
That's so funny because Valley literally asked me the other day, Mom, what's your favorite song? And the first one that actually popped into my head is, you know what? Don't worry, be happy. In your life, expect some trouble. But when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the power of what we're focusing on is huge. So,
Mhm.
and it's really empowering to know that you can shift that in a moment. So, like Jennifer said, we're gonna give exercises, different ways to tap into embodying. I don't even like the word exercises. That's like, um, look at
We're
that.
gonna play. We're gonna do some energetic play every day.
We're gonna practice, play. Yeah,
We're gonna practice. We're gonna play, and it's like, too. It's like we're going to play with different tools every day, and then you can possibly find one that works for you.
exactly.
And that's like, because that's one thing is it's like it's not like one tool, one size fits all, tool fits all, right? The expansion exercise works for me, maybe it doesn't work for you, and so we are coming together to share some tools, and who knows which tool will all of a sudden pop up from the universe as like an inspiration. Oh, this is what I'm going to play with today.
Exactly.
um,
One just pop.
Everything comes from somewhere.
Yeah, we'll probably do the drug of choice exercise, which is kind of fun too.
Ooh, I don't
Woo!
think I've ever done that one.
I haven't done it. It's a fascinating exercise, especially if you do it next to a Mexican guy whose drug of choice is different from yours. Hmm. That's all I'm gonna say.
Intrigued. Do tell.
The drug of choice alone is worth $21. It's worth double that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, thanks so much
Mhm,
for being here with me. I know it's late for you. Um, and I look
mhm.
forward to playing with you.
Yay!
Thanks for creating this.
No problem. Thanks for making me do it. Not forced.
Not making.
Nah, it wasn't forceful. It was gentle push.
But we'll both be in there, doing the videos. So some days you'll get both of us. Some days it'll be one or the other, and then you'll have the call with both.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, post your favorite exercise for changing your energy below.
Mm,
We would love to hear it. And
so,
if this was useful for you, the YouTube, internet gods, whatever algorithms, um, those are like they love when you like, share, comment, all of that. So if you do that for us, we'd be super grateful.
mm.
Have a great day, night,
Morning.
life. Bye.
Bye.